Good morning. My name is Kayla McKeon, and I am a Down Syndrome International Ambassador for the United States of America. This session today is on good support, training, and feedback. What is support? Let's talk about that. Support is extra help that a person may need to do a task or just understand information or to develop any kind of skills that you currently possess. And every person gives and receives all different kinds of supports every day. People with intellectual disabilities or those who are differently abled may need extra support to make and understand decisions, learn new skills, understand information, and communicate with other people. And of course, always be included or involved in an activity or an event. What for these kind of supports, the type and the amount of support that someone needs, yes, they are different for everyone. And the support will change in different environments and of course over time. And we're gonna talk to our self-advocates and see what they're telling us. So this is what some of our self-advocates told us. There's little understanding, experience, or training and good support for people that are differently abled. Support is not the same as care. And often people with intellectual disabilities can get poor controlling over support. And lastly, people with intellectual disabilities have to put up with poor support because there are no other options. So let's understand a little bit of these supports, shall we? To understand support, we want people that are differently abled. Families are often the first and most often the greatest supporters. We also have professionals or volunteers who will also support all these wonderful people. So everyone who is working with people with intellectual disabilities to understand good support. People that are differently abled told us that having good support, make sure that they understand what is happening around them. They are included and involved. They are developing new skills. They have the time that they need, that they are listened to, and they can say what they think. That their decisions are well respected, and they can do their jobs or fulfill their tasks to the best of their ability. People with intellectual disabilities also told us the most important qualities of a good support person are: they are a good listener, they are friendly with a smile, they have experience and knowledge about the work they are supporting with, they are trustworthy, they encourage self-development, supportive of decision-making, understand what support is needed and when, they are patient, and they are respectful, and they are able to explain things clearly and using everyday language today. Yes, it is everyone's responsibility to adjust to the way they work with people with intellectual disabilities. And sometimes, many times, a person may have a support person that they work closely with, but it's not the role of that one person to act as a go-between. For example, in a meeting that includes a person who is differently abled, that they must speak in an accessible way, that person is included, and not just to rely on the support person to translate. Inclusive organizations should be able to recognize and challenge for support and empower people with intellectual disabilities to do the same. People with intellectual disabilities say that for support is when people make decisions for them without including them. The supporters control what they do and when. The supporters are overprotective, or they treat them like children that were not. and they do not understand what is happening or why. They're not part of what's going on, and they can't join in. They are not valued or listened to them. The supporter talks over them, or they answer for them. The supporter does things for them, or not, or them to not be with them exactly. And the supporter is not about what they want or need, or what the supporter wants them to do. And we want to make sure that that person that is differently able is always in control of their own support, their own decision making. Often people with intellectual disabilities are not involved in who is chosen to support them or be part of deciding of how they will be supported. And of course, people with any kind of intellectual disabilities should always be part of any conversations or any kind of decisions about their support. And we want to give good support, so this is what's next. To give good support, you want to know each other. And this is where support works best, when people know and respect one another. And here are some things to talk about with the person that you're supporting. Some of these questions are, who are we? What are we good at? What are we interested in? What are we working to achieve? And what type of support is this person that is differently able to looking for? We want to make sure with intellectual disabilities have a choice and control. We want to give people that are differently able choices, listening and acting on their decisions, that they do have control. Their good support makes sure that people with intellectual disabilities understand that they have options. And of course, they have the outcome of those different choices. And some support people should respect the decisions, even if you do not agree, and that can always be up for discussion. To help people with intellectual disabilities develop new skills, most people, and like myself, want to try new things. We want to develop those new skills that help empower people with intellectual disabilities. Here's a great way to support people that are differently able and to develop those new skills. Let's break down the task or the information in small chunks. We want to give plenty of time to be able to support that person. Let's set goals. They're really helpful. And of course, we'll regularly check in with you. And we want to give all those people with intellectual disabilities the right support when they need it. We want to work together to understand when your support is needed and how much support we are allowed to give you. People, yes, need support, but they always don't need support at all times. So giving too much support means people with intellectual disabilities may lose out on their independence, and that's what we strive for. And remember, support needs to change over time, and any type of support should be offered should change along with that. We want to also give people with intellectual disabilities individual support that's specific and geared to that each person. Just because one type of support works for one person doesn't mean it will work with another person. Support is not a one-size-fits-all, and it will benefit you in the long run. Want to consider how to give people options, and of course around those support. You want to be able to converse with one another and try different things, and to find out what's the best way to give support. And of course, we want to give opportunities to check if that support is still working well. And of course, the support does take time to get it right. We don't want to rush anything, and we don't want to rush you. So please be patient with us and do not give up. And just because a person is not asking for support, it doesn't mean that they're not needed. If working with a person who does engage, others not doing be engaged, of being able to express what support or other accommodations or modifications they might need. Again, do not give up. You want to continue to be involved with the person in any way possible. Be friendly, be attentive, and always try different approaches so you can see what is beneficial or not. And of course, being involved will help a person's confidence to grow. And given the time, they maybe feel comfortable enough to share what they want and need, and of course, to take part. And some people that are differently abled have been treated poorly in the past, and they could be a little worried about struggling with a new one. And this means that they do not want to take risks and try new things, even with supports. But it's also very important to take your time. And we want to introduce these new tasks at a slower pace. We want to be able to explain them carefully and make sure that we're building on the person's strengths and the preferences. And of course, peer support is the best because it can be very helpful and then they can help somebody feel more confident and more secure in what they're thinking.